Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my co-hosts Veronique Arsenault and Judy Loge, here to bring you another great show from Miramichi.
Yeah, hi Audrey.
How are you?
We're back after
Veronique?
a snowy week.
Yes, we did. We had to run a rerun last week just because we got stormed out.
It was a good show,
It was a really good show. Did
Yes.
we run it?
It was a good one.
was
It
a
was
good
with
one?
Michael and Zakia from the week before.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Right,
So we
exactly. So
enjoyed
we've
them
been
so
buried
much.
alive since our ice storm, if you
Yeah.
haven't heard. We've got, I think, the entire winter's amount of snow all in like three little,
Crazy.
right on top of each
Fredericton
other.
alone,
we're
what do they have?
all-
100 and,
Yeah.
120?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
and I was there for 3 days last week, and
Yes, you were.
and like when you walk, down the sidewalk, like the snow is taller than you.
Oh, the snowbanks.
Yeah,
right?
and it's a little freaky,
Yes,
and they don't know
a
what to
lot.
do with the snow anymore.
No,
right?
where to pick it up and put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait
That's
for
when-
spring.
I know.
So-
I know.
Yeah, like now.
That's
But we're
just
into
it.
February. That's the good news.
Yeah.
I mean, like really into it, halfway done.
No, I know. That's just it. 5 weeks until spring, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
It's only 28 days, so we're looking good, girls.
Yes. We're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. So it's my turn for our little poem or
Yes.
positive
Yes,
quote
it
of the
is.
day. And with everything I've been doing with the last, because I've got my 6 weeks in now, with my new of getting stronger and being healthier and stuff like that. So, and everyone's known if they've seen a couple of the episodes that I'm following the ketogenic diet.
You look great.
I've got like 16, 17 pounds
It's amazing.
there off
It really
as of
shows.
right now, and I feel pretty good. I'm not craving anything.
good.
But I'm noticing a lot of menu ideas and food ideas and different stuff like that, and information overload, of course, with Facebook and
Yeah.
everything that's out there. And Dr. Tiffany Keenan did a seminar just this past Saturday in
Yes, I
town
saw that.
about it. I couldn't get to it, but I would have loved to
She'd
have
be
asked more
awesome.
questions. Exactly. But I just wanted to pass along this little piece of information, my little poem or thing. Did you know?
Okay.
When it comes to sugar, did you know? It is 8 times more addictive than cocaine.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Okay.
I
Which-
didn't know it, but I believe it.
Okay, which automatically made sense to me that trigger, that just eat one is not a real thing, because you can't. It's addictive. And what's interesting is that while cocaine and heroin activate only one spot for pleasure in the brain, sugar lights up the brain like a pinball machine.
Yep, I
Well,
agree.
The good news from my end, I don't really care for sugar or sweets.
Oh, go on.
No,
that
I
was
wouldn't
now.
care if I ever
That's
had
by a
anything sweet.
Dr. Mark Hyman.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Posted that. Did you know? And I find that very, very interesting. I think for me, the biggest thing that I'm learning with the low carbs, less sugar, low carbs, is that that is a trigger for me. Like one piece of bread or a handful of crackers, as soon as you have those, it's almost like my ability to make good decisions disappears altogether.
Yep.
And it's just, I feel like I'm out of control.
Well, that's
I
it,
can't
because
control
bread turns
that.
into the sugary substance, once
Yeah.
it's digested.
And things like that, and especially if you have it later in the day. So
And there's so many grams of sugar in bread. And that's
Exactly.
I don't
what
think
and that's
you realize.
No, and you know what? I was shocked by how many grams of sugar there are in milk. There are 12 grams of
that's
sugar
another
in
one.
milk.
That's
a lot.
And I love milk.
Do you? I hate
love it.
milk.
Love it,
No,
love it, love
despise
it.
it. I gag
exactly.
on it.
And because and some people think, well, it's natural, so it doesn't matter. But your body doesn't really know the difference. You know what I mean? It doesn't go, oh, that one was a natural sugar. And this
I'll like
one was
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
hug
really
it now.
you do have to count them. And what I did at first, where I was measuring everything and I was doing so much, I don't have to do that anymore, because visually I know what my portions are supposed to
for
be and what I'm
you.
satisfied with. So it's
And you're
going pretty
sticking to
good.
it. That's awesome.
That part I find amazing.
Yes,
I
it's
really do.
a
That
long
the cravings and the, you know what I mean? There's been a box of chocolates laying around our salon.
Oh,
I
That
know.
still have a
Yes,
few. I haven't touched them. I
Good
opened the box
girl.
and I smelled what's inside, but I didn't have any. I did. There was so
Yeah.
much out there. It was Valentine's Day just not too long.
Oh, yeah.
Right? How'd you guys make out for Valentine's Day?
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yes.
No, it was nice. It was nice. I scooted out to see 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, good.
Or 50 Grades Dark.
Yeah.
50 Shades Darker.
With
Yeah.
the
I
girls
did.
or with your husband?
No, girls. Husband couldn't talk him into it.
No.
Ah,
No.
I wouldn't want to be public there with,
No.
with
No, it was a packed house.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
It
No,
was.
you know what? Valentine's Day for me, I don't. I don't have a significant other. But you know what? I had so many people, and I did the same thing to friends of mine that I know aren't in relationships. And so many people messaged me and said, you know what? I love you. Doesn't matter. You know, like,
That's right.
Should not be about romance.
no.
Being a man, woman, man,
True.
man. It should
Yeah.
not have to
No.
matter.
Yeah.
Because my youngest child, who's 12, right, and they do the Valentine's thing at school. They don't do it so much in middle school where they hand out the Valentines and things like that. And she's got a few of her girlfriends that are on the boy crazy side of things right at the moment with hormones and all of that stuff. And I said to her, because we had gone to the dollar store, she wanted to get a few things for her friends, a couple of her girlfriends she wanted to get. And I said to her, I said, you know, it's not about, you know, having a boyfriend or have someone that you really, really like. I said, love is for everybody.
It's a sign of affection.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and and it's funny because in the years when I was, you know, in my kind of dating years there, I always had a boyfriend on Valentine's Day, but I always found. Always.
Wow.
pretty much, yeah.
Veronique.
Woo, I tell you. But I always found, though, that there was so much pressure, we tended to argue. Like, there was so much pressure on Valentine's Day for this grand romantic gesture.
Yeah.
And I can probably count on one hand the number of times where I didn't have something happen like that with the boyfriend or whoever I was dating at the time. There was like an argument, like it was just too much, right?
People try to live up to certain expectations. They have to have the candy, the flowers, the dinner, take the the date. No, we just had a beautiful dinner at home, and I did receive roses, and I got a beautiful trip planned with my husband, and it was very special. It was just him and I and dinner, and it was lovely quality time.
Really unique.
Oh,
I did. I did do something unique.
Is this
yes.
air time,
yes,
quality
I can.
time?
Well,
Okay.
everybody probably seen for the last couple of months on Facebook that there was a website that you go to that you could design your own love book and
I didn't
write
see
your
that.
own love story, and
nice.
that's what I did.
You wrote
And
the
they
book.
had the little templates, and I had to design my character with
Pretty
the little
sweet.
flirty eyelashes
that's
and the
really
long dark
cute.
hair. And I created his character, and then it was 20 pages long, and then you could also put in your own words and things.
How
Yeah,
nice.
that was
And you got
cute.
to read them that?
No, I left it there for him to
Oh, that
read.
is pretty
I never
special,
want to be
Audrey.
present when the gift is
Very,
open.
very
'cause
nice. Unique.
It's something different.
I'm not a great gift giver.
No.
No, I'm not good at it. I'm
Depends.
not.
Well, the other gift was matching coffee mugs.
Okay.
One says Mr.
That would be
Right,
me. That would be me.
Mr. Right on one, and Mrs. Always Right on the other.
I need those too.
No, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but it was nice. It was nice to have that. What else do we have going on? You have your boy home from university.
I have my
got my
youngest
girl.
boy, yeah. I'm so happy. And
Yeah.
he thinks I'm all weird because it doesn't matter if they're 8 or 18, you want to hug them.
Yes,
You just
I
want to
know.
hug them because
they
they're
come in
there
the
again.
door.
I said, you know, you lived here for 17 years until you went to university.
Right.
And then just having a home just adds a special presence to the home, and your humor adds, and your company at the dinner table, and everything just,
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
It
it's
changes.
just a nice.
For
because-
everybody. It's not just for
Right.
us. They're siblings. You know, is she home? Is she home? Did she
And
get
it's
home?
never you're never too old to hear I love you
No.
or that we miss you or we're proud of you or you're
No.
special. I don't care if you're 8 or 80.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear it.
I
Yeah,
agree.
That's just it. And then the other kids in a couple of weeks they'll be on their March break.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Right.
my older son's
Across
in a
the-
different
Yeah. Hard to
age
believe
group
it's
now,
coming
but
Yeah.
but they're having
Exactly.
fun just gelling after the hard exams. It's a lot of
It
pressure
is.
on the
It's a lot of work.
brain.
Well, in
Studying.
PEI, they missed a lot of their exams, and they still have to write them when they go back.
Okay, that's
tough.
kind of stinky.
Yeah, that's tough.
So,
That's pressure.
Not loving that.
No.
I don't think she is. You did something this past weekend. You were at the MC
Yesterday, I did at the Riverside Entertainment Center emceed the beautiful bridal show.
The bridal show.
From the Wedding Loft. And they had
How did it go?
88 brides to be in
Oh my
imagine.
gosh. Isn't that incredible?
And so Maggie
Beautiful.
Power won. She was just ecstatic, and she showed it with her tears. She was the beautiful young girl in the audience getting married. She won the 2,000 plus gown that was donated from the Wedding Loft.
I can't
Can you
believe it.
imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money
It
and
is.
to put towards one item of your wedding. And then they gave VIP limousine service for 3 hours away and
Wow.
$500 off cake a chance for the wedding
Oh, yeah.
cake and all
Oh,
these
these were all the other
fabulous
prizes.
prizes.
Wow.
Really beautiful,
Nice.
and plus baskets of this and that and everything. And I really enjoyed it. So for all those women that are getting married out there and some men that were in the audience, they seem to be having fun planning. There were
Right.
very many vendors to
Yeah.
see and take part in, take cards away from, and fitness centers were on hand to talk to, help
That's
people.
fabulous.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, that's a great little venue to have that. It's
Yeah.
been there the last few years, and
Yeah.
it's
It
fabulous.
was packed.
Yeah.
Was it?
It
Yeah.
was wall to wall.
Wall to wall.
I saw the pictures on Facebook and it looked beautiful.
It was
Yeah.
beautiful. Sugar
Yeah.
and Spice did the decor. And they had
Yeah.
little chandeliers all the way down the runway.
wow.
And they
Was
extended the runway this year, so it wasn't just
Oh, they
a
did.
sawed-off little.
Yeah.
They really made made it
so
spectacular.
that a lot more people could be closer to the dresses. Oh, that's
What was
fabulous.
interesting though was that they made, you know how slowly you walk in your wedding gown? Well, the music was Planet Z, Tim Irving, Millbank music, and he just pumped it right up. So the girls were walking real fast in these wedding dresses. I'm thinking, are they happy to get to the aisle or what?
Yes.
But anyway, it was just unusual because you practice at your rehearsal party to walk so slowly.
Yeah.
But they were just woo because they were having to get in and out with the different changes. It was fun.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, congratulations to all those and that have engagements and that they're looking
Excited
forward
to
to
plan.
their
88 brides to be. Wow.
Yeah, there were the most ever
in Miramichi.
in presence,
that's lots.
in attendance.
That's amazing.
That is a lot. We also had a big announcement today at 10 o'clock this morning. They announced the name of the new school that's at the Chatham end of town.
Yes.
Miramichi East.
It's a
Miramichi
really
East.
Yeah.
Yes. And they've decided to call it King Street Elementary.
Yeah.
And if you've probably noticed on Facebook about the announcement, I just want to bring up the fact that even if you don't love the name, there's so much negativity in the comments and the back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow.
It's a wow. It's like, is it the end of the
I'm
world?
like-
No, it's not. Do I like the name? No, I don't. I don't mind voicing my opinion.
Yeah.
If it was after a king, fine.
Yeah. King James or
But
something.
anyway, it's fine. Like I said, I'm certainly just happy and proud that we're going to have a facility that will house 400
Yes.
students.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
new and
Thrilled
it's
to
going
death
to
for
be
that.
beautiful, millions of dollars
Yeah.
into that project. And I'm excited about this new school. So
Yes.
the name, I would have, had I met the
No.
deadline, I should have been one of those people. If I'm going to complain,
Yes.
Yeah.
then you got to get your name in to say I think this is a deserving title. But I missed that deadline, so I can't say too much about it.
No,
And I think it's unfortunate. I think we don't often have the opportunity to name buildings, right? It's we
Right.
don't build a whole lot of new stuff.
No, it's a
and
exciting thing.
I don't know the significance or the submission that went behind the naming of the school. Like
Other than
somebody
to
had
maybe just keep it
somebody had to write
down.
like a submission for it,
Application.
right? So
Right.
I mean, there must have been a good reason for it because they had others as well. But I think we don't often have the opportunity to name things, and I think it was kind of a missed opportunity.
to make
There's
it
a
more
lot of
significant.
there's a lot of wonderful
yes.
people that have impacted education here in the Miramichi.
Totally.
You know,
Huge.
and so
Yeah.
I would have
Maybe
liked
they
to have
couldn't
seen.
pick just one.
Well,
but
that might be a problem
And maybe.
when you start with,
Might have been.
well, I mean, we have,
Yeah.
I don't think it would have mattered. Just seeing all the comments and everything that
That's
everybody's
nasty.
making. I'm like I said, you don't have to agree with it, but
No.
to be so negative or so mean.
well, then,
is-
like I
is
said,
not-
where were their submissions for names?
Yeah.
Like, if you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, they may have
Yeah.
had them.
And there's
But if it doesn't get chosen, it's not the
No.
end of the world.
No.
It's,
But I
is what
think
it is.
no matter what they would have named it, I think someone would have
Oh,
had
of
something
course,
to say
of course,
negatively.
yeah. Oh,
It's like we said
regardless,
earlier, we're just
unfortunately.
chit-chatting about Lady Gaga. That's another
Yeah.
issue. There was a woman that gave the performance of, a lifetime for
awesome.
her, probably
Yeah.
one of them. And her body was in great form, and they're going on about her little muffin top of her
God.
belly.
I wish I had the muffin top that she's got.
You know what it's called? You know what it's called? It's called skin.
It's
Yeah.
called jealousy.
It's called skin.
It's
Everybody's
called-
got
it's
it.
called-
Everybody's
it's
got it. Everybody's
called
got it.
envy or
Like,
something, or
really?
whatever.
Yeah.
People that
No.
shame other people's bodies
Nope.
is like, get over it.
Not nice. If you can't say anything nice, don't say nothing.
That wasn't
Well,
that
then
all.
Facebook wouldn't exist.
No,
And
this is true.
yeah.
This is true.
Unfortunately.
I want to bring up something that I watched this morning that was sort of concerning.
Mm.
I'm not sure if I'm for or against. I watched a little story this morning on the Today Show about, and it was titled "Kids in Cuffs."
Saw that.
Handcuffs.
Yeah.
And it's a U.S. trend. I don't know if you want to call it a trend or not, but it's something that they're.
Doesn't
it's
sound
something
good.
that they're having. They feel that they have to do. So these schools in the U.S. are having to have security, if you want to call it, deal with the children as far as disrupting the class or whatever it may be. So the teachers aren't handling it. They actually hand it over to the
What, like
Really?
a police type security
I'm
system
gonna
or
this
something?
this woman is packing like she was dressed in uniform. They're dressed in uniform, so security, if you want to say, and they're the ones that are, as opposed to going to the teacher or the principal. And I was shocked because in my head when they were talking about the story, I was thinking high school, which
Yeah.
you know what I mean. These children are bigger and toe to toe and could be carrying a weapon because handcuffs, even for police to use on an adult, or are for their own safety and safety of the
Right.
perpetrator or
Right.
whatever, right? So that they don't harm themselves or anyone else. And it was a 5 or 6-year-old child in cuffs.
I am against it.
Punitive
I
measures.
am so against it.
Punitive measures are extreme in any kind of a case where the kid, say they're,
Did he have a weapon?
No. But if they do have a 5-inch blade on the playground and they're going to harm themselves or something, but no, there are people that should be trained to come in there, and response teams and trained professionals you can do a hold on a kid, a proper hold. You do not have to handcuff
intervention.
them.
I took it years
That's
ago.
why they have intervention workers in the schools.
Social workers and certain therapists.
In Canada, I'll say that.
And also, I mean, our teachers are trained on, classroom management. How do you manage these kids? And although that, we're seeing all sorts of stuff that, teachers 20 years ago didn't see or 30 years ago didn't see in the classroom.
It's just changed.
But teachers are trained on classroom management, and those kids typically have been identified, typically, as struggling in multiple ways. So they have intervention workers, they have
crisis
teaching
response
assistants.
teams.
Yeah, and there are things in place in the schools that, and I remember I was teaching, and I'm not going to say where I was teaching at the time, but I was teaching, and I had a kid threaten my life. And so I had to go.
How old?
It was high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I had to go through the training to what happens, because they suspended him, right? And so what was going to happen when he came back, right?
Yep.
And, there was code words, and there was, people that I had to, that were always aware that, So, I mean, there are lots of things in place. And by the way, when the kid came back, he and I sat down and had a great conversation, and we worked out, and I knew where he was coming from. Was that apropriate? Obviously not. But, we found a way to work through it, But to actually put a kid in cuffs.
My biggest concern is to put a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old child in elementary school in cuffs.
It's traumatizing.
Mentally traumatizing.
And they're
that
not
child.
criminals.
And the thing is they believe that this will only create more trouble, and they will end up more delinquent than in the first place.
I agree.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally against kids in cuffs. Just saying.
I am too.
There's got to be a better way.
And I will just say that I do feel very, very sorry for the teachers at some points today, because they have no say in how they can you can't touch a kid or look at a kid the wrong way.
Yep, we're going to take a short break. We've got a great show lined up, and we don't want to miss a thing. We have Janet Creighton joining us, the program director from Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
So don't go away. We will be back with a lot more Have a Chat right after the break. Welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch, again with my co-hosts Judy Loge and Veronique Arsenault. And joining us up next is our very first guest, Janet Creighton. Hi, Janet. How are you?
Great, thanks.
Welcome
Glad
to
be
Have
here.
a Chat.
We're excited to have you.
Yeah.
It's Monday. It's Monday.
We're always trying to
Monday.
muster up extra energy on Mondays, but we have to pull it off.
No,
Yes.
the sun's not shining, but the temperatures are actually
I'm
pretty beautiful.
It's melting.
I'm okay with
things
this
are right.
this winter
This
weather
is-
right now.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
I'm okay with
Today's definitely.
Yeah.
Now, you're the program director for Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Boys and Girls Club. So tell us a little bit about yourself in particular, in case there's anybody out there who does not know who you are.
It's not possible.
You don't think so?
No.
It's hard to say. There might be a few. Born and raised in Chatham. As Judy and I say, God's side of the river. We'll just keep that on the down
That's right.
low.
Yeah,
Graduate together.
We won't tell anybody.
Graduated together. Been at Big Brothers Big Sisters Boys and Girls Club now for over a decade.
Really?
And there's no life like it.
Didn't realize it was 10
No,
years
right?
for that.
Well,
Janet.
yeah, actually it's 13.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
incredible.
I went there when
Fantastic.
I was really young.
Yes. Yes.
Volunteering?
And it keeps
Did
you
start
really
up there?
young. No, actually, I started there as staff, and the nice thing about it is that it does keep you young, because I get to, I have the privilege of seeing great kids every day,
Yep.
and it's a really, really neat place to work.
When you say kids, what age does it begin with that they're involved within the certain programs, or do you want to start with one program first and talk about
They're
age
two
groups?
different. They're two
They're
different.
two different
entities.
national organizations.
Okay.
Right,
So there's
so-
Big Brothers Big Sisters,
Okay.
and then there's Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
The nice thing about our community is that it works for the two to be joined together. You know, there was a day when resources were very limited, so you really had to steward your resources well, which we are still doing. However, volunteers were, a very rare commodity. So you want to utilize those volunteers in the best place for them. Yeah. So a volunteer may fit very well in a Boys and Girls Club program as a facilitator, or they may fit very well as a mentor through the Big Brothers Big Sisters program.
Exactly.
So there's lots of options for volunteering.
And for, I used to sit on the board, so I luckily knew a lot about the organization, and for a long period of time, like for as long as the organization had been open until Gold Rush happened, the organization used to fundraise 97% of its operating budget.
I was on the board back then.
So was I. And like 97% of its operating budget was fundraised dollar by dollar
That's right.
in the community.
The community has always been extremely responsive to the organization. I think they, back in the day and today, they see us as a very vital part of the community, providing a very vital service to the kids of the community. And at the end of the day, these kids are going to be our leaders.
That's
They're the ones who are going to be looking after us.
Yes.
They're going to be the decision makers.
So true.
So it's our goal that we provide them with great mentors, great facilitators, great programs, so that they can make really good choices.
They know how to learn to bond together, how to share,
Exactly.
how to
To
take some
socialize.
disciplinary issues, and
Yeah.
be like you said, the future leaders just by learning how to set their own way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, Gold Rush, of course, came in a couple of years ago,
It did.
and it came in a big way. But it didn't start out in a big way, but it has grown.
Snowball.
That lovely little green box.
Yes.
Yes,
But the lovely little green box that, let's be honest, it does a lot of things. It, somebody wins it every week, or depending on rollover.
Unless it rolls
That's
over.
right.
Unless it rolls over, but
That's
somebody.
right.
So that's a wonderful thing to win for somebody in our community.
So exciting.
It's an economic engine of the Miramichi.
Right, but also
exciting.
what that does though is enable you and everybody at Big Brothers Big Sisters Boys and Girls Club to put in place the amazing programs that you have.
Absolutely.
So
Things
tell
that
us
are
a little bit
happening
about the
right now.
programs.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's really what matters.
That it is. So for years we would have had a wish list, and it would have been what if. And I think
And then it was.
and then it was. And I think the great thing is that under Sherry's leadership and the board of directors, we've always aspired to what if. To think out of the box and to offer what the kids in this community need, sort of thing. So then all of a sudden we've been able to do some more innovative programming because of the funds that we have.
Plus the space too. Like
And the
you
space,
were
we've doubled
confined.
our
Beautiful
footprint.
right now.
Yeah, like
Yes.
you were confined, and it was an old church
It
from
was the Protestant chapel.
from the base days.
That's right.
And that was
It's twice the size.
yeah.
It's really,
so
really
we've doubled
nice.
our footprint since I've been there. So the former wing, which is where everything happened, now that's all programming.
Good.
So if you come in anytime, I always say it's really quiet until 10 past 2.
Yeah.
So we start picking up kids at the first bell dismissal, which is 1:50 at Ian Bailey, and then
All
controlled
calming
chaos.
breaks over.
Just saying. I know. But it's great because we have a licensed after-school care program. So we have kids that come in every day after school, and they're there from the time the bell rings until their parents pick them up at
How nice
5:30.
for the parents too. So to be able to carry on their daily
just it.
schedule and not have to worry.
And we've got wonderful green space, so we certainly take advantage of that. Like today, if you were to drive by, you'd probably see the kids out either playing a game of pickup hockey
I know.
or maybe snowshoeing. I laugh, I always say the ducks at that duck swamp in through know our kids because they hear the kids
Humming.
talking and they know that our kids take Cheerios or bread.
Sure.
So they start squawking
Yeah.
because they know that they're going to get treats when
That's
our kids
right.
arrive, sort of thing.
Yes.
So they could be doing board games inside. They could be doing some homework. It could be an older child helping a younger child read.
Very good.
We're starting up our swimming program again. So one day a week, our Club Connect, which is our after-school care kids, they will be going over to the Golden Hawk one day a week for
A
swimming.
lot of
and-
programs right there.
yeah, so and that program runs from September to June. And we have kids, we do pick up at Ian Bailey and St. Andrews, but we have a little one from Nelson and her parents juggle their lunch hour so that they go to Nelson when their school is dismissed, pick her up and bring her down.
Oh, wow.
And she attends after school care because her parents work on that side of the river, and it's convenient, and they know that she's in a safe place after school.
How many can you accommodate, Janet?
We
in
can
that?
take 49
Okay.
in that. So we're licensed for 49 in that after school care program. And then they leave at 5:30, and it's a quick vacuum, clean the bathrooms, clean the kitchen, and then another group of kids come in again for programming at 6 in the evening.
But you also feed the kids, eh?
I was just going to ask you that.
Oh
Snacks
yeah,
are-
snacks are huge.
Yeah.
Good.
Snacks are important.
Snacks are really important. I mean, if you've
Snacks
been
are
in
great
school
when they
all
get out of
day.
school, yeah.
Well, that's right. If you've
From
been in school
lunchtime
all
to
day,
after
it's
school.
a long time.
It is.
So yeah, I mean, you can walk in any given day, and it's a whole different variety. It's a different menu for the entire month. So it could be anything from like turkey pot pie to waffles
that's lovely.
to grilled cheese sandwiches.
should head over there.
and-
We should. We should
head over
be
there.
Do
kids.
you have to follow like Canada's Food
We do.
Guide or
Allergies
okay.
and all that. You
All
have to
of that
know all
stuff.
of
those are all
everything.
Do you have a
posted and things like
nutritionist
that.
to you or a
No, but
No?
the staff, they have to follow the Canada's Food Guide, and they
Okay.
have to offer choice, and yeah. So
That's good to know.
it's yeah. There's always a great smell in the afternoon,
sure.
right? There really
Yeah.
is. And talking about food, I mean, I think I'm really big on nutrition for kids, so I was really excited when we were able to fund the breakfast program in the
That
school.
was
That was
huge.
amazing.
Yes.
That was huge.
It's
Just huge.
I used to be the breakfast lady.
The breakfast
Yeah.
lady?
When my older two were younger, to go down there, and you can go through a lot of bread
Yes, you
and a
can.
lot of. Well, back in that day, you used to be able to have peanut butter, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. So to
But
come up with
cereal
other
and
own,
things
yeah,
like that.
That's
Hot
right.
oatmeal.
Yeah.
Or,
That's
It
right.
is.
Well, and a lot of people wouldn't realize that, you know, a lot of kids are going to school hungry.
They
Absolutely.
sure are.
You know,
Absolutely.
and Judy and I are Rotarians, and,
Yeah.
and we used to do a lot of fundraising around the breakfast
that.
program, right? To try and help to pay
It
for
is
that.
the most important meal of
You
the
know,
day.
absolutely.
It fuels your brain.
I didn't have to worry about that with my kids. I was, you know, they always had breakfast. Did they want to eat? No, and they were tired or we were
Yeah.
running late. But that was a big rule at my house that I was like, well, you're not going to school then.
If
Like,
you eat
If they didn't
something-
have breakfast,
If they didn't have breakfast, if they felt like that they
breakfast
weren't.
was
So
painful.
it's
at,
instilled in them.
at
your
my
house?
house when my daughter was growing up.
Yeah.
Hated breakfast.
I'm not a huge breakfast
Yeah.
person, but I know I have to eat
Yeah,
something.
I knew
so
it
had to be
make
something,
myself eat
even if
something.
it's
But
toast-
it's
piece of
really
toast.
nice because our breakfast program has no stigma attached. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter what
No.
the economics are in your
No.
household. It's a social event.
It
And,
is.
and I really
is.
think that food facilitates conversation.
For sure.
So I think it's really important for kids to have that opportunity.
That's
so
right.
I know I've heard from some parents that, you know, their child may eat breakfast at home, but then they'll have something else when they
Yeah.
get to their school, or they may just say, no, Mom, I'm going to
I
have
want to have
breakfast
breakfast
at
there."
school because
Yeah.
I have an opportunity to talk
Sit
to my
with
friends.
my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
So
run
important.
differently in all the schools, so it's been really interesting to go from school to school to see how each
How it
school
runs.
puts their individual stamp on it. But
Yeah.
I mean, over 4,000 kids
That's
every
amazing.
morning have the opportunity to
have breakfast,
have breakfast
no matter what.
because of Gold Rush.
That's
So
amazing.
how does
So
that
it's
work
great.
when you get 49 kids? You know they're going to have their little spits and squabbles and everything else like normal kids do
For
in
after
the
school?
classroom. Yes, do you have to kind of keep on that they're not, you know, picking and, you know,
We have core values at Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
And they're the same core values that I think everybody needs in their life. And it comes down to being respectful, being kind. And we, you know,
Good.
obviously
From the
they're.
get-go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the kids are known. These are the expectations. This is the
But
framework
little Judy is
with
going to
which
kick me
we
in the
work
shin no
in.
matter what.
Well, you know what?
That's what I'm
Then
trying to get
you'll
at. I'm
just
thinking we
move
just
little
play
Judy.
kids, right?
Little Judy's going to kick little Vero
So
in the
you
shin.
remove me
So we
from-
would
you
just
take me
move
out.
you, and we would explain to you, how would you like it if all of a
That's
sudden
right.
Little Vero
she,
kicked.
little Vero kicked little
me
Judy?
twice as hard.
Put her in handcuffs.
No, absolutely not.
Please.
Like, were you cringing when you heard that?
Well, I just thought, whew.
Were you, I sat
Because
here.
you're dealing with that
Yeah.
age group.
Yeah.
And to this day and age, you know what I mean?
My
Like things
gosh.
are a lot more elevated as far
Absolutely.
as their behavior
Oh.
and with a lot less authority with the teachers or the people looking after the kids with what they're allowed to
You
do and
can't
say
touch
and
it,
touch
you
or
get all
whatever.
in ear. You can't like.
But
So
I think if
it is a
kids
struggle
know
there.
what's expected of them, so we're very
You
clear.
have tight
I mean,
reins right out of the gate, so
we-
there's no.
Yeah,
rules.
and what's really neat is we talk about the core values in all of our programs, but then we let the kids say, okay, what do you think some of the rules or guidelines or expectations should be while you're here.
I like
and
that.
they put them up on a flip chart,
Good.
and then they own them.
That's great idea.
Yeah.
You know,
like
rather
us.
than us
Yeah.
just feeding it
Exactly.
to them.
Yeah.
If they
Saying,
if they
"These are the
have
rules."
input,
They've created the rules.
absolutely.
Good.
Tell us about this fabulous pink.
Oh yeah.
Aren't they pretty?
Tell us about the pink.
Not gonna lie, one of my
presents.
favorite colors.
I know it is. It's a good
It
color
is
on
or
you,
it isn't?
too.
It is.
It is.
It is. Well,
Beautiful.
everybody knows about Pink Shirt Day.
Yes.
And these shirts just arrived for our kids the other day, and we just
case you
think
can't
that
see
you
these
know what,
things.
in life
Make nice.
you
is
need
what
to
they
make
say.
nice.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You
Two
need
words.
to be kind. It's easy. Everybody can remember make nice. I mean, when kids are little, you tell infants or toddlers, you know, you need to be nice to your cat. You need to be nice to your dog or whatever, right?
Nice.
Be nice.
Yeah.
So
A lot
this,
better than be good.
That's
Really, that would be terrible. Be good.
I have a hard time with that one.
Threat, right?
So I
make
brought
nice
you
is
each
nice.
a
Oh,
T-shirt.
nice.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I
that's
would
lovely.
hope that
Thank you.
you know,
Wear them
you
around
would,
and make nice with
you would
everybody.
wear them and you would
Yeah.
make nice with the people in your world.
And
my
it's
husband comes home.
Pink Shirt
saying,
Day
"I'll
is
have that on."
Wednesday.
Pink Shirt Day is Wednesday.
Wednesday the 22nd. So
Yes,
don't
that's
forget
right.
to get your pink shirt. I've been seeing them all over the place.
And I didn't own a pink shirt like this, so now I have
There you
one.
go. Now you own a pink
Lovely.
shirt.
I have to make nice
Beautiful.
all the time.
Pink Shirt
today.
Day.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So
Thank
that's
you very
this
much.
Wednesday.
That's this Wednesday.
March 22nd.
Yeah. So our kids
So-
It's
will be
adorable.
doing, you know, anti-bullying
Exactly.
themed activities
Good.
this week. We'll be
Okay.
having the discussions and letting them take the lead as to, you know, what does being nice mean to you?
That's right. So what's on deck? What's coming up next?
March
besides
break.
This here?
March break
March break's
is
coming
just
up. So
around the
what-
corner.
So you've got lots
so-
of things planned.
Yes. So we do after school care, as I
Okay.
said, and then we do evening programs. And our evening rosters usually follow the school calendar. So we do a fall roster, and then we do a winter roster and a spring roster. And those are evening programs, no fee. Kids come, you sign up, you decide if you like science, if you like art. We have Anne Maloney Asaf,
Great.
who's just a phenomenal
She is.
artist, and
Wow.
she's been doing an art program with a group of older children, grades 5, 6, and 7, since September. And it's really neat because usually our programs run for 6 or 8 or 10 weeks, and then a new group of children come in. With this particular program, we thought that we'd see how it built on the skills. So these children that have started will work with Anne, or Anne will work with the children right until June, till school stops. And, and I am not crafty. I can't even do stick people. And I look at Anne's lesson plans and I think, wow,
She's amazing.
these make sense. And we've got some kids in that program that have just pure raw talent.
Oh,
and
I can
they're
only
and
imagine
they're so excited
nice.
about being part of that program.
being able to
Yeah, we have
explore
a
that.
girls' middle school yoga class one night a week.
Nice.
So we have Ainsley Cotter that comes in and she
yeah.
facilitates yoga for our kids. Science is a huge, I use the word seller, but there's no fee. But it's science. Kids love science.
They do.
like
It's fascinating.
well, and we like things that explode.
They
And,
do.
and the bigger the
Chemical
bang,
reaction.
The bigger the mess.
the bigger the bang, the better. So we launch rockets. We, you know, build volcanoes and then cause them to erupt. And we do all kinds of really neat things like that along science. Crazy Concoctions is going on right
Where
now.
was that when we were growing up?
I just picture that all going
Wouldn't
wrong
that
when
be
you
so
send them
fun?
home to me and they start digging in my cupboards
It's a
to
lot of
create
mess.
their own.
Oh yeah, but they like it.
Just
like,
like-
you know, I was just mentioning before the program started. Like last week, we had a whole lesson on what happens when you ingest food and
Oh yes.
And-
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and how it comes out,
Yes.
including
What
corn
exactly
kernels, which
happens?
is great.
Kids love that stuff. They
Kids
wanna
love
learn.
it.
They do.
The messier,
They do.
the grosser,
That's
they
kids.
love it.
How do
They
you,
just
how,
love it.
we're gonna go to break soon enough. How do you volunteer with you? How do you, if you want to get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters Boys and Girls Club? How do we get you?
We really need mentors. So 778-2444.
778-2444.
Or-
If anyone's looking to be a mentor,
Yes.
volunteer, help out.
And we can talk a little bit about that after the break.
Where
Do
you
we have a
would,
few more minutes?
where would, no, not just yet. Where best that they would be suited, they'd be able to call you and talk to you
Absolutely.
about that.
Yes.
And
or
you have a Facebook page as well.
We do, and we can be reached at contact@bgcmembership.com.
Okay, and there's a Facebook page as
And
well.
we have a Facebook page and a
where
website.
you can find out all about it and all the different programs
Great,
and everything
like Go
else
Girls,
like that.
That's right.
8-week self-esteem program
I know, I love
for
the Go
grade
Girls.
6 to 8 girls. That's fantastic.
So much. I
Self-esteem.
get an email every week to let me know who won the gold rush.
But I would hope you would
Was it
read
me?
the top portion, which talks about program
What's going on,
before you
that's all
scroll
there.
down to the bottom
Yeah,
to see who
I do.
actually
Yeah.
won.
I actually do.
I do too.
Yes,
Exactly.
I think that's important.
Just it. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us, Janet,
up
and
the great
telling us
work.
everything that's going on at Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Boys and Girls Club, which are two separate entities
right.
over there. Lots going on for sure. And again, you can find them on Facebook. And you can call them at 778-2444. If you're interested in mentoring or volunteering in any way, shape, or form, they would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for the T-shirts.
Yes,
Yes,
We'll be wearing
definitely.
that.
Don't forget,
Yes.
this
We're
Wednesday,
going to make nice.
Make nice.
make nice and wear
Oh.
your pink.
Yeah, it's a beautiful T-shirt too.
Right.
We all look good in pink.
Yeah, we do. We
Thanks
should
very
do
much.
a pink day
We should.
for sure. Thanks. We'll be right back right after the break with more Have a Chat. Welcome back to Have a Chat. We've been having a great show. We were just chatting with Janet Creighton, who is the program director at Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Boys and Girls Club. A great woman, lots happening over there. If you're looking to volunteer or mentor, please definitely give them a call.
I always laugh though,
Much
because
needed.
whenever we have a guest booked, they always say, "Oh my goodness, I can't be on for 18 minutes. That's too long. I won't have enough to talk
Yeah,
about."
no.
And then they're done, and they're like, "I didn't get everything
I
in.
know.
I need more time."
I want more
Lots
time.
more to talk
And it
about.
happens with every guest we've ever
does,
had.
so-
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It just flies by.
It does.
Yep.
It's because we're fun.
That's true. We're so fun.
Megan's like, "Please make them stop."
But this part of this portion of the segment, we really
little
did.
different.
No, Veronique and I
Yes.
thought it was high time that you, being a wonderful businesswoman, got to showcase your business, which is over a year old now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
way overdue for you to
Yep.
share with our viewers and with us as well the many features you have in your business at Sheer High Studio in Douglastown. So Audrey, you're the owner,
Yes.
and we'd love to have you and Megan talk about your business.
Yes. Well, thanks so much for suggesting it a few times for us to do
Yeah,
this.
this isn't the first time we've tried to
No,
do it.
no. And we'll probably do this in two segments because unfortunately we couldn't have Emma with us today, who is an esthetician and reflexologist, which we wanted to talk a lot about that as well.
Ooh, another
as well
time.
as Megan and I talking about hair and eyelash extensions
Yes.
and the different things that we do at the salon.
Okay.
And my salon is not huge. We are now 6 employees, plus
Pretty
we
big.
have a after-school student, and she helps out. She's a great help too
Good.
as well. I want to mention her, Lindsay White. She's
right.
fantastic. We've kept her on since doing her co-op program, so
Nice.
that's fabulous. And then Megan joined in
Megan.
November this past year, just in time for the Christmas season.
Yes.
Megan Shea Screen.
Hi, nice to meet
Her and I
you.
go a little ways back.
Yeah.
We worked at Genesis together
That
years
helps,
ago.
right? That
Yeah.
rapport is really
History.
important, isn't it, when you meet somebody and it's not
Yeah.
just, you know, you
Absolutely.
can really jive if you know each other's personalities.
For sure. Oh,
Good
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's just
So
it.
tell us a little bit about you, Megan.
Well, I'm from Fredericton originally.
Oh,
we didn't know that's a good
I like it a bit.
We love Fredericton, but we love it here better.
Yeah. So I've been here for almost 8 years now.
Okay.
And I've been doing hair for 9. Or almost 9, I guess. And yeah, I just recently started working with Audrey again.
Good.
In November. And
Lovely. And she'd be very nice. You have to say she'd be a wonderful boss.
Oh, she is.
I know she would be.
No,
I
for
think I'm
sure.
pretty easygoing.
I think you would be, Audrey, too.
Definitely.
And so here you all are with your beautiful eyelashes, me with my little ones.
Oh, okay.
No, you
My
all have these
stubs.
gorgeous eyelashes. I should get with the program and go visit you and get some.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, eyelashes are something that we took on top of our hair programs,
Yeah.
right? Where did you go to school, Megan?
In Fredericton at
You
Majestiny.
did. Majestiny.
Yeah,
and I
and
went
then-
to Majestiny here. I'm a year ahead of Megan as far as how many years of experience that we
Yes.
have. And I took Majestiny when they opened up here in Miramichi, but then they closed a few years later, kind of thing.
Your salon is gorgeous.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
it's so pretty in there.
It
You
is
feel like
so
you
nice.
walked into this
Yeah.
little magical area where you're
Yeah.
going to be made beautiful, and you
Yeah.
are. That's exactly what you girls do.
I said to Audrey, when I first started my first week, I said, Audrey, I feel like I've been here forever. Like it was just so comfortable, and
Homey.
That's good.
she made it so much easier. You know, coming from
That's good.
a salon that I was at for a long time to go
Transition.
somewhere new. It's hard and
It's
scary, and
it's
you
scary
know.
because the way I run my business is chair rental, where she was
Yep.
employed before. So
Yep.
that alone is a huge change.
di-
Because
yeah, big
when I made that step myself 5 years ago, I was terrified as well. You know what I mean? To go
Yes,
out
of
Well, you're,
course.
running,
and to do that.
you're running your own business out of that
Right.
space, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. And that's my biggest thing, that for any of my girls that are at the salon, is I want to help them grow their business. They are their own business within our
it's under
salon.
one umbrella. That's
Exactly.
right.
So anything I can do to help them grow and flourish, because if they don't grow and flourish, then they don't pay their chair rent.
Yes, I
And that-
understand.
Yes, definitely. So, and I wanted to make sure, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty picky and choosy when I was first opening up my salon, and I really wanted a great fit, and Emma and
Of
Megan were
course,
perfect.
you want the right
Definitely.
people.
Yep.
You have to all
I
know
was
what you're-
excited to
yeah.
take them on, for
Yes.
sure.
So,
Right.
what do you
Yeah.
like doing best? Like blowouts or updos or cuts, or what's your favorite thing to do?
I'd say probably updos and color. I love color. Like I just love seeing that change. And then I love updos because, well, mostly updos are for weddings or
It's a
prom.
happy
and
time.
it's a happy,
It's a
yeah.
happy
Everyone's
time, yeah.
always excited. Usually they're excited
Right.
and in a good mood and happy. So
You know what,
yeah.
but I'm gonna say I used to be a makeup artist, and I did makeup for this bride, and she was not excited.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, like I'm getting married. I'm like, are you?
That's
Like,
sad.
I
and
thought
it was
you
like
meant with your job.
no,
you
that
meant
she was
didn't want to get
not
married.
excited about. Oh yeah,
heck would
and
you
she's
get married if
like,
you weren't
she's like,
excited
oh
to
my
get
god, I
married?
don't even want to go. And I'm like,
Oh
oh
my
my goodness, I'm doing your hair or your
Probably
makeup.
divorced now.
Oh, I'm sure she has to be
Probably
because
the
I
same
can't-
day.
or they stayed married and they're miserable. But I was just like, wow, this is not good.
No.
Well,
Well, that's better than Bridezilla,
Yeah.
True.
right? that can
True,
be
yes.
that can be stressful and a
We've
Do you
seen
handful.
some
feel
of
like getting
those.
your hair done today, even though it looks beautiful? Do you feel
Well,
like getting a little
Megan,
something?
Megan's gonna do a little do here.
I think
She
that
is. We're
would
going to
be
do a little do
really
in just a few
nice.
minutes.
That
I
would be
wanted
nice.
Megan to tell some people, because I think there's a lot of people out there who want to know the first thing that they don't have time for in our chairs when we're talking to them is some do's and don'ts and what some of the trends are right now
Yeah, for sure.
with hair.
All right.
So what are you finding, Megan? Because Megan is actually like, though we've been doing it the same length of time, she's a lot younger than I am.
Really?
And the younger girls tend to, I hand them off to her with all the more
matriarch on
crazier,
The old lady
the
over there.
crazier, trendier kinds of things are actually not that easy. And there's
No,
some
I
big
know.
do's and don'ts out there.
Yeah. So basically, like the ombre and the balayage is still in.
Oh,
which,
good.
The reason why they came up with that was just to get a longer, like not have to come get your roots done as often. You know, you can get more longevity out of your color to save money. So that's why they came up with that look. And the pastels are really in.
There's a lot of like,
Those
color,
lovely
yeah. Like
light
mauves and
blues and
pinks and
purples but what people don't realize is those are so hard to achieve. You need to have like white.
Your
bleach
hair
has to be that color.
Void
Just
Yes.
color, right?
whatsoever.
Yes.
See, and I love the fact that every month I become a natural redhead again.
We should have my red day.
Yeah.
And you know what's big this season is warm tones like
Yes.
nice rich like toffee,
Nice.
caramels,
Yeah.
warmer blondes.
Having those red tones or those warmer
Yeah,
shades.
that's
Red's
gonna
always
be
good.
Yeah.
big for
That's good to know.
2017. So I have some do's and don'ts.
Okay.
So if you're spending money to get your hair done, you should be spending money on good shampoo and conditioner. You know,
Huge.
like
That's
why, you know, drugstore shampoos, it's going to strip your color, it's going to make your hair feel dry, and you're just wasting the money you just spent at the salon. Always use a heat protectant. You know,
Wait.
I know it's hard, and people are like,
wasn't always that
"Oh,
good
no."
at
But even if it's just a spray in before you blow dry, or a
Something.
serum before you flat iron, anything helps.
Never blow dry
Because
my
it's
hair.
blow drying, the blow dryers and the curling irons and the flat irons today are so hot, and they do have a dial on them, but everyone cranks them right to the top.
Because you want it
Yeah.
done.
And when
Yeah.
someone tells us, we're like, "What do you put in your hair before you flat iron?" They go, "Nothing," and we're like, "Ooh!" We're like, "You flat iron your hair
Hurts a
naked?"
little.
We're just like, "You're kidding, right?"
Well, and
Big
I think I
no-no.
did some damage to my hair that way.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because my hair was
Wavy.
very, very curly.
Yeah.
And I am, for
You
a
lost
variety
some
of reasons,
curl.
I've lost a lot of my curl.
Yeah.
Part of it was the stress I was under, part,
Right.
food and everything. But I think part of it was the flat iron
Yeah.
Without anything in the hair. It's
Okay, I
really-
don't blow dry my hair ever. Never.
You let it air dry.
Always.
Go on.
Always. Never used blow dryer.
Good for you.
I haven't used a blow dryer in 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Good.
great.
That's fabulous. Your hairdresser does though.
No.
No.
I just do my shampoo or whatever, and then I just let it dry, and then I go.
Oh, go on.
Oh, wow.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's why she's got healthy hair.
I know, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Always keep up with your trims. You know,
Yes.
even if it's just that much,
Yep.
like it helps, gets rid of the split ends,
Yep.
any damage.
Even if you're growing your hair out to your butt,
Yeah.
do not underestimate the power of a trim. True.
Yeah. Weekly treatments. You know,
Weekly.
something you can do at home, like just a really rich one that's gonna really get in there.
Mayonnaise.
Oh, I hate the smell of mayonnaise.
My grandmother did that.
Oh,
all the time.
I know, but
Go for the coconut oil if you're gonna.
Yeah.
If you're not
Oh,
going to
Instead
buy
of
anything
mayonnaise.
at the-
I love it.
if you don't want to buy
Yes.
anything at the salon,
Yes.
coconut oil is
Yes.
my new
It used to
favorite.
stink
Yes.
so
How much do you
Good
put
for-
in? How much do
You just when
need?
the coconut oil is white and it's
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah.
right?
I have it
So
at
you just
home.
have the tablespoon of it, and you
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and you just put
Like
it
it-
in
like
there.
you would with the
Yeah.
mousse.
Yeah, put it on your face.
Because I hate the
Face
smell of
moist-
mayonnaise. I almost
moisturizing.
gag.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And
No,
vinegar.
I could never.
Go for the coconut oil.
Okay.
And invest in good tools.
What?
Invest in good tools like
Oh,
curling
yeah,
irons
yeah,
and
yeah.
flat irons. You know, if you
Good
have
product,
just
yeah.
a cheap one and you're going over and over and over the same piece, it's gonna fry it.
Don't be
and-
cheap.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah.
And the flat iron spray that you put in your hair, and if you're going over it and over it and over it, that product will actually dissipate. And then there's
Yes.
none in your hair.
Yeah.
And then you're doing what I did.
And then you're doing it naked again. Right?
tip.
I know. Well, you don't want to do it naked.
No, well,
flat iron your hair
no.
Okay. And I just have a couple don'ts. This is really hard for some people, but don't wash your hair every day.
I don't.
I don't either.
That's great.
Don't.
I
And
know.
why? And you know,
Unless you're a teenager and you've got really
And you're
oily hair,
oily,
they
yeah.
feel like
No,
they
I-
have to. But
I don't have to wash
No,
my
No,
neck
mine's
at all.
thick and dry. So.
yeah. Oh, we too. Yeah.
Me too.
yeah.
And don't use too hot of water when you are washing your hair because it's going to dry out your scalp. And
Warm, just
yeah,
warm.
just warm. I know
Yeah.
I am bad
We
for
love
that.
it.
I love a hot water. But, and when your hair is wet, don't rub it like this with a towel
Oh, dang.
because you're just breaking it.
Never.
Basically.
You'll never
So
catch
just
a hairdresser
squeeze.
do that.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Those are all helpful. Very helpful
Yeah.
tips for women
And
and
the,
men.
the biggest one, I think Audrey will agree with me, is don't color your hair at home. Please.
No.
Please.
Yes, exactly. Because
Um,
we can fix it, but it'll cost a little bit more. I think the biggest thing that I like to share with people as far as home color, because I don't want to knock it completely, because if it's done correctly, you know what I mean? It can
Yes.
be a great tool and an inexpensive way to do things at home. The biggest mistake is people will pull it root to tip. Okay, the ends of your hair already have permanent hair color. Why are you putting it here, right? Because dark over dark over dark gets darker.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're just trying to do
knows it's
your
not
roots.
the
Yeah.
And
Just don't do it.
and you know those nylon.
Move over.
I'm going to use an analogy. You know, pantyhose or nylons, one size fits all.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. So hair color in a drugstore is for whether you have 10% gray, 50, 100% gray, whatever the case may be.
Are you looking at me? This
So
is gonna get real
it's-
dirty now.
My point is it's strong.
Yeah.
It's really strong, right? Kind of thing. So when you're using box dye at home, it can go horribly, horribly wrong. You don't understand, and not to get too scientific, just I had one girl who was a brunette who had all these big blonde chunks in, and she just wanted to cover it and make it all brown, and the blonde chunks are blue or green, and she doesn't understand why. But the base color for brown is blue or green,
Yeah.
right? So her blonde ones would have grabbed that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because otherwise, we're around time enough to shave her head.
Yes. She's going to do a little quick
We dare
updo. You guys can ask a few more questions if there's anything else. Gray, I did want to mention the pastels, right, that everybody's talking about, and they want to be that silvery gray.
Whitish gray.
Yeah, like they
really-
truly
that's
want
really
to
in
be gray, and I can't. It's not for me.
No, but no,
I
it's
spend
not
most
for
of the
you.
time.
Is it for you, Megan?
I'm trying to cover.
It's not for me,
can
but
look really
I think
pretty
it's
on people.
pretty.
I've
Yes.
seen some beautiful ones.
I've seen in the bridal show yesterday, there were some gorgeous looks of that.
Yes.
What is the shade?
It truly is gray,
It is?
silver, bluish kind
gray.
of thing. Yeah,
It's real-
exactly.
it can
People
be
are
very
doing the
pretty.
pale pinks and the pastels. So when you start, there's only one way to get to that color, and that's to bleach your hair. You do. You have to use bleach, and bleach comes in different strengths. And I create that strength by how I mix it,
Sure you
correct?
do.
Yeah.
And according to the color what I'm working with. Now, if Megan and I want to be that color, like check us a year from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
that's
and
how long it
something-
would take.
Yeah, that's something that people don't realize is that
No.
you can't go from, dark brunette to blonde
Right.
in one sitting.
I'm
Like
not
it takes
trying.
some work.
No,
It takes
even
some
if you
work.
look at the Kardashians, I'm trying to think which one she
Chloe.
is. I want to say
Chloe.
Chloe.
Yes, she looks
There was about 8 photographs.
Yes.
That's 8
Yeah.
appointments
Yeah.
before she got to be as light as she wanted to be.
Yeah,
And you're
exactly.
probably talking a few, if not more, hundreds of dollars per.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
per-
her, a few
yeah,
thousand.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it doesn't happen overnight. Yes, a lot of people are like, that's the color I see, so that's the color I want.
Okay, what
But
about
in
Katy
reality-
Perry? You saw her in the Grammy. She's now completely blonde.
She is, and
I didn't recognize her.
I'm not gonna lie. The first thing I noticed was it's totally cute. I prefer
I like
her
it.
dark,
I like her blonde.
but the quality of her hair was the first thing I noticed.
Okay, what is
So
it?
she wore it all beachy curls. You know why? Probably because it's quite dry and
Yeah, I'm
fried and just so that curling her hair like that and doing like that takes away from the fact that the quality of the hair is no longer there, and you have to be willing to sacrifice that somewhat of the quality of your hair in order to be those colors or shades.
Okay.
It can, if you want to be it that quickly, that's what you sacrifice
For sure.
as far as that goes.
But
as
I
well.
kind of like her blonde myself, but that's just my opinion.
No, that's just it. And Katy Perry wears a lot of wigs, actually,
Yeah, she
in little
does,
pieces.
yeah.
When she changes all those into all those crazy
That wasn't
colors
a wig,
and
though,
things
what
like
she
that.
performed
no,
in the Grammys,
No,
was
that
it?
looked
No.
like her real hair to
Yeah.
me. Exactly. That's just it. So Megan's performing a quick little updo on Veronique.
Well, I have so
Braids
much
are big.
hair.
You do.
I have so much hair,
Yeah.
so it's not as quick as it normally would be.
Now
want
she's
her to
quickly
shave
trying
it?
to throw in a French braid into your hair.
Yep.
And the biggest thing I noticed too with French braids and things is to go back and pull them loose.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
That's what I'm
That's
gonna
huge.
do.
They're not as snug and sleek as they used to be before. And that's what makes them so much more fun and unique and just softer looking and something that you can do yourself at home as well. It's even with my hair today. Now, this is my natural curl, and the biggest thing that I would just love to do as well is just to pull it over the side and throw that loose little braid, grab it and swing it up and pin it. It's just too easy. Okay? We want to thank Megan so much for coming on today.
Thank you for
And-
having me.
Yes, definitely. And she is taking new clients at the salon, so you can definitely call. She does eyelash extensions, and she
Yes.
does everything to do
She
with
has
hair.
done mine, yeah. She
Yeah.
has done mine. Not
Exactly.
today.
Thanks so much again, Megan, for
It's a pleasure
joining us
and
today.
to know more about your shop.
Yes,
It's
and
a
hopefully we'll be
beautiful
able to have Emma on, and she'll be talking a lot about skincare and
5
facials
minutes and I'm
and
up.
things like that. And
Great.
yeah, that
And then
quick.
we'll just pin that, and then you're
Yeah.
done.
Too cute.
Easy breezy.
Thanks so much, Megan. And
Thank you,
to
Megan.
Thank you to our
Audrey.
viewers for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Bye from all of us here at Have a Chat. Thanks for watching.